Comics hero. Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Hello everyone, John and Carla here. We are the creative team behind the Green Reaper. Hello everybody, welcome to Wildcat Comics again, your new favorite YouTube channel.
Yeah, welcome everybody. We're super happy to be here and to have our gorgeous guest, Tinfoil hat me.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. For those of you who don't know, who maybe are new to Comics K scene, because I know there's a few of you who watch us. Curtin, right? He's behind the scenes, dropping links, promoting books like crazy, tirelessly every day. From the time he wakes up, I mean, it's crazy. I wake up in the morning, before I go to work, I check my phone, and what do I see there? Nick always dropping links to these wonderful campaigns and just getting people's attention and people's eyes on all these projects. We could be more grateful for that because he's been a supporter, a backer, and just overall a great friend throughout. Since the time we started, and he welcomed us with open arms, and we want to give back and kind of get to know you as well, my friend. How are you today?
I can't complain, man. Just enjoying it's actually rather warm here today, so probably gonna take a trip outside, even though we are under Corona whole madness with the Corona apocalypse going on here on the East Coast. But we'll make it through. Got comics, got good people. What else could you want?
Absolutely. Comicsgate is all about being rebellious, right?
That's right.
Let's take a little look at the chat. We have Whizgies. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the channel. We have Nick. We have Mogwai Centurion. Hola, mi amigo. Welcome, Mogwai. We have Shane Mess. Welcome, Shane. And we have my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody's watching, Nick, so no pressure there.
Oh, and of course,
hi, Mom.
hello, Mr. Officer. Thank you for being here. He's my top moderator in the chat. So he's a German officer, so he has everything in place.
Ooh, gotcha.
So, welcome, Mr. Officer.
I have a German boss myself. Not a lot of fun, I'll tell you. But they're good people for sure.
Yep, I lived there for I've lived there 3 different times, but the first time I lived there, it was a little bit of a culture shock. It was I was like 16 or 17, and going over there, it was just I noticed that these were very nice and hospitable, yet orderly and very frank people, and
Yes.
I appreciated that about them as I went through my life.
Absolutely.
And they have great marzipan, so
Mm.
I don't know what that is, but sounds delicious. But anyways, yeah, we wanted to talk to you, Nick, because we always want to hear the perspective of everybody who's involved in Comicsgate, and without a doubt, there will be no Comicsgate without its promoters. Now, tell me about your experience with Comicsgate. How did you stumble upon it, and what was your first experience coming in?
Well, I started out actually over in the Fandom Menace over in Star Wars, and listening to Geeks and Gamers and Caesar EVS talking about Star Wars and everything. And whilst I was over there, I ran into a gentleman who's now a brother named, we all know him as Pan lovingly, but Pando Lando, Dawn Lover, Soul Child. He was over there, and being his regular, charming, lovely self. And he, just started following between him and listening to EVS talk about the comic side and everything, because I quit reading comics at the end of the first Civil War run when they killed Captain America, and then they brought back Captain America as a Hydra agent. And I was just like, you know what? We're done. Because to me, that was like a betrayal to any and everything that comics had ever stood for, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, because you're basically you're spitting on me and spitting on all the fans who loved Captain America. It's Captain America, you know, and Hydra stands for everything that that the United States didn't stand for and everything, and in the comics. So I was just like done. I still kept up with Transformers comics to a certain extent until they started going the way of the dodo really hardcore. And then, but yeah, once right after the Solo Wars, I really started getting into the comics again, and started, you know, listening to what people were saying. Went to church with Zach, and then did my continuing education with more of Caesar, and then started hanging around with the War Campaign guys, and then got more and more involved. And then after I started when I backed my first book, I was like, you know what? That's when the famous John Malin grabbing the worst speech happened. And I can't draw to save my life. If I can keep a line straight, I've done a very good job for my level of talent. I can't write, I can't color, can't do any of that. But I can be a carny barker every day and ring a bell every day. And so that's when I decided I'd start promoting the books that I liked, because I wanted my book. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the sole reasons, probably the sole reason why I do the promotions the way that I do, is because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I get my book. And if I have to do this to get my book funded, then so get your book funded so I can get my copy, then that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. Well, we couldn't be more grateful for all the support, my friend. Like we always say, you know. Now, along those lines, have you ever thought about putting out a project yourself on Indiegogo for CG?
I am not. Like I said, I'm not a writer. I'm not an artist. I'm not any of those things. My handwriting is even atrocious. It's just, I'm a kind of a creative person in the fact that I make memes and can, you know, do picture and image stuff like that. But as far as what it takes to make a comic book that anyone would want to read, I don't think I have that talent. So probably not. But like I said, where I can't do that, I can do the other side of it, where with promotions and helping people. I help some people set up their Indiegogo campaigns, and people come to me and ask me questions and all this other stuff, and do some networking and things of that nature.
Right, and along those lines, like you say, you know, you're good with the memes, you're good with all these things. So maybe have you ever considered maybe working for these projects, trailers and things like that? Have anybody ever approached you about it?
Yeah, but no, I wanted to say that it's not only like producing the projects. We need a lot of different stuff here in CG, a lot of different like roles, to call it a way. And Nick has a very like sharp eye. He's very good with analysis. He has shown us that in his reviews and with his opinions too. So I think that is a very fascinating skill, and we need more of that in CG.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As far as like doing the promos and stuff like that, I never really tried to do video editing or anything like that. I mean, I guess I could start trying to learn how to do it and stuff like that. It's not. I've just never really thought about it. I'm good at fighting. I'm good at yelling. I'm good at promoting, and that's kind of where I've been keeping my thing my self-centered. But you know, there's always a possibility that I could like it. I tell you, if anybody is out there though looking for a trailer for a project, hit up like Ted Zagaro or a couple of those guys. They do fantastic work. Who else is doing good? I think is Ryan Magus still doing them? I can't remember, but those are just some names right off the top of my head.
I love these videos.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, like I said, you know, maybe give it a shot. You know, you'd be surprised. People approach people with talent all the time, because it's not just about the writer and the artist / colorist or whatever the case might be. There's a lot of things that go into these projects, and you put in a lot of the work for a lot of us, because you know, all it takes for us is a retweet from a really creative tweet that you put out regarding a project that we're running or whatever. So yeah, man, if you're good at something, you know, don't do it for free. But of course, you do that because you want to help out, and you want these books to be successful. You want these creators to be successful. But maybe just throwing some ideas your way, you know, maybe work on the video editing thing, and who knows, maybe you can make a little business out of that.
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we have like different, like a whole travel through the world here in our chat. We have Hola Hola from Magway Centurion. Then we have Apollo Patriots. Hell, Apollo, hell, Greek mythology, and I love my blue Twilight women. And Nick, yeah, we have Apollo always expressing his love for blue Twilight women, and we love him for who he is. Can you, Nick, please read this?
The artwork is, I think that's wonderful or dazzling. Meine Deutsche ist schlecht. I'll just put it that way. It's been a long time since I've spoken German.
Okay, we will be waiting for Mr. Officer's approval of that. Because, you know, they always make fun of me putting comments in German and making me read them like horrible and destroy them. Then we have Whiskey's Entertainment Health Chat.
Hell with this.
And we have Mogwai Centurion Hell War Campaign. So yeah.
Hell War Campaign.
Hell. Nick Hell War Campaign. Hellbred Gays Community. Yeah, hey Gays Community too. Hell Brother Be Elevated.
Yeah, Red got his book funded the other day. That was a happy time.
That's great.
Sure he did. Sure he did. But he deserved it. You know, it's that's what I mean. You know, Comicsgate, in my opinion, is kind of growing out of, not necessarily growing out of comics, but it's including more stuff. You know, like you have comic marks, photo novella. You now have books in prose. I think that there is room for more talent to come in as the community keeps growing, and of course it's gonna keep growing. You know, DC and Marvel. I mean, come on, they just pretty much just dug their own grave at this point. You know, and the virus didn't help them either. But you know, I think people are hungry for this kind of content, and this might be the time to shine for a lot of comics. We ourselves have seen tremendous growth in our project. You know, like you compare, I think we are at 200% more than what we made the first campaign. That is a huge improvement for us, you know.
Oh yeah, that's always kind of been my that's always kind of like the bellwether thing. If you know that you're gaining in in your market and everything like that, because you've not only done better than you did last time, you've gone up percentage points in a big way than you did last time. Like you're at what? I think I saw it the other day. It's let me get. I can't remember what you're. And I looked at it this morning, and I can't remember. I think you're at. Hang on one second. Let me pull you up here.
Oh, we are. I can tell you, we are 3,601.
Okay, and you're. How many backers do you have?
We do have. I can tell you right now, 90 backers. 90.
Okay, so you've added 40, pretty much 40 backers.
Yes.
Give or take about five since your last campaign. So you've gone up almost 50%. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of unheard of, because that means that not only were you able to maintain those original backers, but those original backers have gone out and sold your book to 40 other people. That's really, really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep seeing it, and I really cherish like how other creators are doing so great too. Like you look at friends of ours, you know, because a lot of them are friends, like Drew, like me, like now you have Red Gaze who have joined the fund as well, and we're trying to convince some other guys who have never done a project to get in it, you know, because I feel like more content gets put out, and you know, this is definitely not about a competition of any sort, because if they do well, we all do well, right? Now, when I first got into Comicsgate, I was very confused, right? So we were thinking about, of course, we were gonna crowdfund this book, because there's just no way for us to get in the industry unless we have a big name already established, or we kind of were willing to put up with the guidelines that they were giving us at the time. So we decided to go solo and try our luck doing it ourselves. Now, when I stumbled upon Comicsgate, and this, you might remember this, we would just go anywhere they would have us, right?
Yep.
There were invitations left and right, and we're like, okay, sure, we'll go. And we had no clue who these people were. But then we started noticing that when we show up in one live stream, we would lose backers, right? So they'll ask for their money back, and I started to see a little bit of drama going on behind the scenes, and I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Explain to us, what is War Campaign? for the people who are new to Comicsgate, what is War Campaign, and why are some people anti-CG, and why do they attack us?
Well, War Campaign is the chat. It is just a bunch of people. It is a group of it's a group of people who met in EVS's chat, and they decided to make a channel. And they have with Roe, Gat, Steve Dye, Tyler, Pan, and a few other people. They have grown this channel into War Campaign. I mean, War Campaign is War Campaign. To try to explain War Campaign is like trying to explain why the sky is blue and the grass is green. It is what it is. And they've War Campaign has just had a very the copies of Vestige just came in, and so they've gone and stepped into the creator role. And then War Campaign is as far as people in the chat, as far as people who watch the channel or who are on Twitter with War Campaign, those are War Campaign as well. We're just a group of fans. We're a fan group who are fans of good comics, good stories. Ethan Van Sciver, Hell Daddy Sunbeam, Hell Caesar, and we don't like the SJW stuff. We don't like the politics coming in. We don't like any of that stuff. We just want escapism and good stories. I don't think that's too hard to ask for. Now, anti-CG is, from what I see it, is either a bunch of people who are jealous at the success of Comicsgate, or people who are, from SJW, Marvel, and DC and everything like that. And there is one thing that I do want to make very clear. War Campaign and Comicsgate are two separate things. Comicsgate is Comicsgate. War Campaign is just a fan group in Comicsgate. But Comicsgate is Comicsgate. And Mogwai Centurion says it very, very well. And we troll well. We do troll well.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we do.
Absolutely.
I heard some comments, some people referring to CG as well, like as analogy of the world, but War Campaign being like the army. Do you think that's accurate?
We are the sword and shield of Caesar. Hail Caesar. That's one of the things that War Campaign does is, if you come around talking smack, we'll kind of, you'll have to deal with us. That's just the way that it is. But we're just a fan group, though. I mean, that's all we are. We just love comics, and we're pretty hardcore about it. And we like to spend money on it, and we like to help promote. We like to do things to help other creators. And, we just want CG, we don't go and buy, some people still have a pull list and stuff, but I know for the majority of the guys that I've known for War Campaign and forever, we haven't set foot in an LCS in a while. We just strictly buy Comicsgate books now and do that kind of deal, because that's by our own choice. It's not any directive or anything like that, but we just want the good stories, and they're not out there in the mainstream. They're in Comicsgate. That's why mainstream is falling apart and Comicsgate is growing daily.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We have some new people in the chat. So hello, back then Digital Art, and Hell Terry. Terry saying, "Hell the War Campaign, Hell CG."
Hell the War Campaign. I'll tell you, I would never want to be on you guys' bad side, all right? Because you do troll. And you do a wonderful job at it. I will be out of it.
Terry says we're also a cult, and that is true. We have meetings on the first Wednesday of every month. Secret Dakota Rings. All the stories that you've heard about our cultish activities and nefarious deeds of cultish nature are very true. Hail, brothers.
Hail to everybody in the chat. Hail to Red Gaze, great friend over there. Congratulations.
Hail, Red. Congrats on your book, brother. I'm really happy that got funded.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your book. And hope we want to see more from you definitely in the future. Yeah, definitely. War Campaign, I was very, very confused at first, because I see these two things, and I actually thought you guys were at odds at first, War Campaign and CG. But War Campaign name in itself is intimidating, right? So you definitely don't want to be on you guys' bad side. Now, as we progress, and you guys were kind enough to come and tell us, hey, look, guys, this is what it's all about and all that. But there is new people in Comicsgate, and I feel like they definitely need kind of a little map so that they don't make the same mistakes that some of us have made in the past, you know?
Terry is saying we are also a cult.
And a lot of the stuff that pretty much 95% of the stuff that we do and say is a joke. We just like to joke. We're here for the lulz.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we're LARPing. We're having a good time. We're having fun. That's what comics should be. Comics should be aspirational in the fact that they make you want to lift yourself up. They should be escapists in the fact that you get to turn off all of that crazy noise that's going off outside when you're buried into that for 26 to 48 to however many pages. That is your time away from all that madness. And comics should be fun. It shouldn't be, if there is politics in there, like Stan Lee said, it shouldn't be sitting there smacking you in the face constantly and talking down to you. It should be in the background overtly to where you get to get there and make that decision, not the author, but you, the reader, because you, the reader, are the customer, and the customer has the money, and without them, you don't get paid and your book doesn't get made. So
I wanted to say this, maybe nobody wonder, but I still want to say this. Like how I see War Campaign, like I'm a woman, so probably they wonder like how do you see War Campaign? And like since we like just got in the CG scene, everything that Nick is saying right now sounds great and sounds beautiful, and lots of people say the same thing. Now we started noticing, because we like the time we lost like three backers from our campaign, like that's a lot when you just start, okay. And we were like, okay, why are all these people like stop like supporting our project? Is it because we appeared with people from War Campaign, you know? So we were like, okay, let's see how this works, right? So we started noticing that the people with this little WC logo in their Twitter name, they were the ones that were actually saying the truth to us. Like, look, this is how it is. No crap. This is the reality. We support you, and they did support us. They did retweet us. They invite us to their channels. For example, Nick was one of them. We actually felt the support from them, and what they said, they did. And that's why I want to like emphasize this, because what Nick said, like, yeah, we like the customer service, blah, 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 it sounds beautiful. But a lot of people say that and they don't actually deliver.
Yeah.
So people from War Campaign, they just, cut the crap, they go straight to what it is, and they do what they say. So that's why we started seeing this like pattern. This is pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, this is, this is the people we should trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You guys are good at earning people's trust for sure, because you know
they are just truthful. They're just honest.
It's the honesty.
They do what they say. They show you with actions.
Absolutely.
They are not all blah blah blah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, very, very interesting thing here with War Campaign and Comicsgate, and very sad thing to see all those anti-CG, because they're almost to a certain point almost obsessed with the creators. I see like some of the top creators get harassed, but you guys definitely step in and just kind of attack, without giving them a break, and as you should, because
it's hilarious.
I don't see the point of doing stupid stuff like burning books,
yeah, that's something that I just want to talk about, the burning book thing. What you do with your book is your issue, is your thing. That's fine. Here's the thing though. Remember, every time you burn a book, you put yourself into a very unique group of people. And also, why would you do that? The people who you paid to get that book already have your money. You're not hurting them. All you're doing is basically having a big meltdown on TV or wherever you're showing that you're burning the book, and not doing anything else. That is something I've never understood. If you don't like the book or you don't like the people anymore, put it on eBay or Amazon and at least recoup some of your cost. This is free market, people. This isn't about hurt feels and stuff like that. If that's what you're looking for, you need to go somewhere else with that nonsense. I don't understand it. I never have.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's just ridiculousness, and it's like you said, it's a big man-child type of meltdown there. But whatever, it's what it is. Now let's talk about you. How many books do you have? How many Comic Scape books do you have?
So far I have backed. I think I'm in the 80s now,
Really? Wow, wow.
and that's in a year, a little
Now,
over a year.
now tell me something. Do you back any CG book, or what does a CG book have to have for you to be interested?
I have like me personally, I have to, if I decide that I'm going to spend my money on the book, I have to like the story, um, and I have to like the art, and I have to like the creators. And when I say I like the creators, I mean, I could never have more than a 2-word conversation with them, but as long as they're not going out there and trolling their fans while at the same time trying to take their money, then that's really all that I ask for, because you can't be a troll and a creator at the same time, no more than you can be a pimp and a prostitute at the same time. It doesn't work. Because that will just make your fans irately mad at you to the point to where you'll just have all of this madness going on. But yeah, as far as the book itself, it's art. I mean, it's story, it's art, and coloring. If I like a black and white book, I really do. Give me a black and white book with a strong color cover, and I'm happy. So, but if you are going to color it, it does need to be on point. I like a good quality book. I like the physical feel in my hand. Floppy, like a floppy is not like, when I say floppy, I use that term very loosely. When I say floppy, I mean something like you would pick up from Marvel or from DC or something like that. Even their cover stock is, I think, subpar. But give me something that's got a nice page count with a nice thick stock cover, and I'm good, man. That's what I look for. But those things really have to be there. The way the customers are treated by the creator, and the creator's professionalism is going to be the first thing that draws me to the book. That and a cover probably will be that's the first two things you're going to run into. And then you'll read the synopsis of the story and everything like that. Price does play a part in it, though. And that's based on page count. Like, there is a certain page count that I won't pay a certain amount of money over. So it's all those factors kind of go into play. And I watch. One of the advantages of what I do is I do mailing lists as well. Mm-hmm. And so when I put up a mailing list, I'll start following that creator. And as I'm promoting the mailing list to get people to sign up for the mailing list, I'm watching what that creator does, how he interacts, what goes on. And, then when the book drops, I also keep watching because there is a point in time, and I've noticed it with a lot of creators, where when your campaign ends and you go in demand, the money will cut off for a little while. And when you come out of a campaign mode into in demand mode and you see the money just cut off, it can get frustrating real quick, because you'll see people start coming up with these new ideas to do stuff, or they'll go out and start trolling thinking they can, which you can't. And then that starts to clock on the inevitable breakdown and blow up. And then that will be when I stop pushing a book, or if I haven't gotten to the point where I can back it yet, I don't back it at all. So.
Absolutely. Well, now you are a pretty blunt person, right? You tell it how it is. Has there ever been a time when you look at a CG book and an indie book and you go, okay, you know what, mate, this is not for you? Has that ever happened? Without saying names.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are many books where there's some books where I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I try to back everything that I promote, but there have been some books that I have promoted that I haven't backed, just because the story, like I said, the story just wasn't that appealing to me. There was something in the art that I didn't particularly care for. Be it style, there are certain genres that I don't like. That is one of the things that I really, really like about Comicsgate, is the fact that at the end of the day, it's your money. Back what you want to.
Mhm.
You know, there is no groupthink. There is no marching in step. There's none of that. It's your money. The consumer is king. Comicsgate is like a giant bazaar, and you have everybody in their own little booths yelling and screaming to come and look at their comics. If something catches your eye and you like it, go learn about it. If after that you don't like it, keep on going. There's something in there. You're gonna find something that you want.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and great answer too. Now, you were talking about the genres of books that kind of get your attention and get you going. What is your favorite genre of comic book, and what is your least favorite genre of comic book?
My favorite would have to be, well, my favorite is going to be anything with a giant robot in it. I'm pretty cool on that. I like those a lot. But that is a like an artistic, like a style of it's almost like an artistic style over something like that. But one of my favorite books that I've gotten out of Comicsgate last year was this one called Strange Love, I Want to Be Chrome. I think it was like my fourth or fifth favorite, and it's a book about a robot who falls in love with the boy next door. It's really good though because it reminds me of Violent Evergarden, which is one of my favorite mangas of all time. And because I love that story, it's you know, there's a lot of past in it and everything, but it really delves into like coming back from that kind of nightmare and then trying to put your life back together and stuff like that. I like that kind of story. I like a good story that takes you places, but I also like giant robots that can blow anything up and usually have a transforming element in it. My least favorite are going to be like a monster book or a zombie book or something like that, unless the zombie book or monster book is presented in a fun, kiddish type way, like it would be Abbott and Costello versus the Mummy, or Abbott and Costello versus Wolfman. Have that kind of feel. If it's a serious zombie or monster or anything like that, I'm usually going to steer clear of it, just because I'm not. I'm just, those are kind of played out for me, especially the zombie thing, because like I did The Walking Dead, and when I say I did The Walking Dead, I mean I watched the shows, I read the comics, I watched the fan shows about the comics, about the show. I mean, I was into The Walking Dead, and so I'm kind of really done with zombies for right now. But like books that have a like I love. Another genre that I really love is angels and like angels and demons and stuff like that. But even though that could be seen as horror, that's more supernatural in my taste, that kind of genre. And I like the concept of perfect beings becoming fallible and in their arrogance making really stupid mistakes. And, you know, that kind of deal. I like that. Legion, I thought that was a fantastic movie. Prophecy was the movie that started it all off for me in that. So that's another favorite of mine as well.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Great, man. Great taste in books for sure, and great taste in movies. Now we not meant to brag here, but we were your second favorite book of
I mean to brag.
of last year.
Okay.
Now we want to be gold this year, right? And I think we have a little advantage in is that we work fast and we deliver fast, which means we can put out more than a book a year, and that's fine. What is your favorite CG book of all time?
Oh man, that's very hard. Wow.
No hard feelings. You can say it.
I will say that I would have to break it down into category, because I like lists. As being a man, men like lists. We like to be able to write stuff down in order and then cross them off. And I put stuff in all kinds of different genres. Like when, oh man, Earthbound was really good. I mean, that was life changing. The Grim Reaper, I really can't say enough good things about that book as well. Y'all's book, the way that you took death and really put a different spin on him is something that's really like most people when they portray death, it's it's that the way that original death is portrayed in your book, very standoffish, but adding a human element to death was, I thought, very nice and very good, and I like that a lot. Another book that I really, really liked that doesn't get a lot of talk was The Abductables. Was my number one book on that list for the first year. And that's because that hit everything that I loved. It was funny. The art was good. The art was fantastic. The Canales' grasp of facial expressions is just really, really, really good. And it was just, I don't know, Michael Derrick just managed to put G.I. Joe humor into a book, which I haven't seen in a long time. So I was really, really happy about that. As far as like artistic goes, you would be very hard pressed to beat a book called Terra Olympus, which is by an Australian author. He did the entire book in black and white and grayscale. With his artist did it with a manga twist to it. Also, if you want to stay in the manga anime genre, Caius is another good one that was very good. I mean, there are stuff all over the place. Of course, Cyberfrog was really good. One that I've just read that really blew me away, and as far as when I backed the book, I was like, yeah, I'm going to back this book because I like the 80s part of it. But when I read Magic Cop, that book was so much fun. Like, it is a blast and a half. I put in a tweet that's more fun than you should be allowed to have with your clothes on. I mean, it's just good.
Absolutely. And see, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of these creators definitely do put their own persona into these books. So that being said, the Save brothers are, I mean, at least I only know Phil, but he's such a fun guy that there's no way he could put out something boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, is there any time where you have not been too crazy about a concept, but you backed the book because of the creator, and your expectation was actually exceeded, or what?
I'm not one for spending money or backing for causes or anything like that. I am upfront enough, and I feel like if I'm your friend and I like you, then I should be honest enough. If I don't like your book, it's nothing personal. It means I don't like your book. I still like you as a person and I like you as a creator, but if your book doesn't do it for me, then I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get it. That's just the way that it is. But I won't back a book just because it's CG if I don't like it. If the creator has done something that doesn't fit into like what I judge a CG creator by, if they don't live up to those expectations and standards, they can fly that flag all they want to. I'm still not going to back anything from them. That's just the way that I am. I'm very black and white, very simple. What you see is what you get.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, great answer, my friend. Great answer.
We have great people in the chat right now. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
I wanted to say hail to the chat, hail to my brother-in-law Vinny Tarnamella, great artist, great writer too, and great comic skate.
Yeah, his book, That Through the Woods collected edition, is one that I am eagerly awaiting because I missed that the first time it came out, but I've heard so many good things about it. And City of Venus was surprisingly well done. As far as, like, I wasn't expecting the story to go that way. There's a lot of twists and turns in there. And I'm really wanting to see how his brother writes, and I want to put both writing styles side by side and not see who the better writer is, but maybe see who the better writer is. We'll see.
At least we know who the better artist is. That cannot change.
Yes, Vinny does have a penchant for the thick. That him and Kyung are probably some of the better. Kyung Lee with Battle Made Knuckle Bomb are probably some of the betters on that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hail to everyone in the chat. Hail to Abel Salazar. Hail to M.I. John Carter from Mars and Pale Rider.
Hail to Shitu.
Yeah.
I love you, my friend, and welcome. M.I. John Carter from Mars.
Absolutely.
Welcome my friend.
Welcome to the fun. Yeah, no, absolutely. No. So we talked about a lot friends here, right? But there is without a doubt certain people that kind of stir up some drama in the community, right? It's inevitable. It's what happens in any community, right? Um, what is your biggest pet peeve regarding some Comicscape creators? And what is your favorite? What would you want them to do better?
I think there's there's a rule called, or a saying. It's kind of chapter 1, verse 1 of things, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the way that I look at things, and it's handed down by my brother Gad Hanzo, and he says, "Don't start none, won't be none." And those words it's such a simple statement, simply put, but it's very profound.
Yes.
If you are just going out to stir up drama,
Mhm.
then I really don't have any time for you if you're a creator, because you're breaking all of the rules that I go by in Comicscape, because you're going out and you're being a troll and not being a creator, because again, you can't do both.
Mhm.
But that kind of stuff really annoys me to no end. If you want to lose me personally as a customer, that would be the one thing that you can do, and I'll just drop you like a bad habit, is if you go out and just start purposely stirring up stuff. Like if somebody comes at you and you're minding your own business, you have every right to hit back and defend yourself and do stuff like that. But if you're going out and doing stuff that is purposely going to stir up drama, that's not needed, that is anything like that, other than being a creator and getting your book finished, done, and to the customers in a reasonable amount of time, and living up to the quality and expectations that you've put out there, and that as Comicsgate we accept or expect, I got no time for you whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Has there though ever been a time when friends of yours from the Comicsgate community, or people who you looked up to, creator or otherwise, who have done something that you did not approve of, and how did you approach it?
I mean, there's always going to be stuff that's done that I don't approve of, that I don't like or I don't approve of, done in Comicsgate, but I am just one person, and I will go out and I'll talk to them about it face to face, because face to face, to their face, like a man. And then if they don't respond well to it, then we can go down that route. If they don't respond at all to it, we'll go down that route.
Yeah.
But once I say my piece, that's kind of where I end it. Unless you come back with with I don't want to say an attack, but like if you're coming back at me to not resolve an argument, but to make an argument bigger or start an argument that wasn't there in the first place, then we're going to argue. But I have walked away or said fair is fair to plenty of people who I don't necessarily agree with anyway, and don't have any personal or animosity towards them or anything like that. It's just I'm not going to get involved with any of the stuff they do.
Absolutely. Well, just wanted to take this little commercial break here to promote Vinny Tartamella's art book right here. We have it, and also Through the Woods, which is still available, and I believe it's close to 30K, right?
Almost.
Yeah, it's under $1,000 away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is very close.
Give me a second. I'm gonna
We'll pull it
find.
up. Absolutely. Also, Sunsworn just got funded, but if I believe that if we hit the 15K on that book, we'll get an audiobook by the man himself. So yeah, definitely. If you want to get the soothing sound of his voice before you go to sleep, definitely keep pushing and backing this so that we get to the 15K and we get that awesome product as well.
Yes, Red Gaze is the Morgan Freeman of Comicsgate. It's like that voice of silver and gold that you just want to cuddle up with and rock you into your sweet dreams.
Absolutely.
Hello, Nick. All right, so here we have Through the Woods hardcover edition, very hard stuff from the Bonner King himself. So you know you're gonna get your thick book, your hard book from Beanie, and it's almost in 30K. What's up, CG? Let's go. Let's just get to 30K. You have gorgeous art by my bro. He has a lot of experience with the campaigns. He delivers. He knows how to do the stuff. So yeah, you know you're gonna get your book. So yeah, please get on board with this project.
Get on board with these projects. And there was another project that I wanted to showcase and talk about that we actually talked about on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And it is the photo novella by Comi Mark. All right, this is a very original idea. I really liked it, and yeah, you should jump on board with that as well because he's such a great communist. He has a stretch goal that says that if we hit to a certain point, he's going to redistribute all the money. So hey, you back it, you might get money in return. Who knows? And here is Sunsworn, which we are going to showcase right now.
Yeah, we're gonna show Sunsworn right now. I told Red that I'm very personally taking the promotion of this book because I need that audiobook to happen. Okay, so please, if you haven't backed the Sunsworn, do it. We have this is a prose novel of 300 plus pages with a visual companion. So yeah, the cover is made by my great super brother Vini Tartamela. Of course, it's a gorgeous work. This is the cover of the novel, and then I did the visual companion cover in a manga style. So if you like manga style, you can jump on this one too. And we have great concept art from Narwhal here, as you can see. And this always reminds me like these typical anime magazines in which they have like the profile of the characters with some description. It's so cool. Look, here you have all these sketches and the making of, and I don't know, this just looks great. Some more work from Lakim Amir, something like that, right?
Come on, what do you mean something like that?
No, wait,
yes, like
Lakim Amir, yes. No, because I didn't find the name. Now I'm reading it. Lakim Amir, there you go. Sorry.
Lakim Amir is probably like, you always get my name wrong.
Yeah, but I also get my name super like smashed by everybody. Tortorelli. I was even called Tartamela.
Tortellini.
Tortellini, yeah, like all the pasta, lasagna.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, and here we have the proof that we have to get to 15K. So please, guys, do so. And if you don't know if Red can write as well as he can speak, here you have the first 3 chapters of the novel, so you can read it and decide.
Absolutely.
You know,
great idea, my friend, to include. That was something that we wanted to include for the Grim Reaper, not for the Grim Reaper, for Cosmo Monkey, which is our next project, and was to have a perk that has the script actually included in it. How do you feel about that, Nick? Do you like reading prose or reading scripts like that as much as you would want the visual companions and the things like that?
I like it all. I like the process. Like, you have to understand, not being talented in that way in any shape of the imagination, yes. Everything that from the writers to the artists to the colorists, any of those people, what y'all do to me is real life magic. You take words and you use words and you use pictures. I mean, you take some of the oldest things that mankind has ever created, colors, stuff like that, and you put it all together and you make this thing that just does wonders, because comics are so magical that they can make you, for however long you're immersed in that book, the rest of the world doesn't exist. Your problems just for that amount of time don't exist. It gives you that time to reconnect with something that you used to love or that you still love. Go back in time a little bit and let that little kid that still lives inside of you that wants to come out and play every once in a while, lets them come back out, and you get to, like, I don't know, for the 20 to 30 minutes that you're in like a 22-page book or a 24-page book, reading through, gives the rest of your body and brain time to power down from all just the stuff that can get you in your daily life. I mean, and so that is magical to me. It's like with Eudaimonia, that one of their stretch goals, instead of giving away art pages, he gave away script pages. And it had like his notes in the margins and stuff like that, so you could see the process, the writing process, and what was changed here. And I thought that was great because nobody else had done it. Nobody else really does it because I don't know, writers don't like to give away their process because they think it's some big secret. I guess, I don't know, but that to me was, I like it all. If you want to show me your process of coloring, I'm down. Drawing, down. Reading or writing, down. I'm always down with it because that's just going to help me get to know you better as a writer, or as a colorist or as an artist. And it's going to, like, if you look at, like, I've been doing this for long enough now that I can look at a certain art style and tell you who that is immediately. You used to not be able to do that. You guys know how I can dissect a picture in a heartbeat and stuff, and a story in a heartbeat and stuff like that. I used to not be able to do that. It's just through reading and getting to know people's styles and going back and reading, doing background on stories and stuff like that is how I got there. But one thing I do want to hit on is what Carla, what you were saying earlier about the you want to get it to 15K so you want that audiobook. You've hit on the secret to promoting books. You find a book that you like, or you find something that you really, really like in that book, and you just go out and you climb every mountain, ford every stream, beat on every door. Anybody that you run into, you say, hey, look at this book, to get that to where you want. That's all you have to do to be a successful promoter in CG, or successfully promote anything. It's all about selling the sizzle without giving away the bacon.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a comment here by Whiskies who says that rumor has it the Grim Reaper 2 stretch goal is a live recreation of the Themis and Lost pinup, where Carla's Themis and Johnny's Lost.
You're lost. You're this sexy alpine woman.
Yeah. Why not?
Look, Abel Salazar is saying, wow, is this guy Nick? He's fearlessly honest. That's great. Yeah, that's why we love Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we always
present to you the top promoter of CG without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's why Nick's word has so much value for us, because we know he's not like just saying sweet things.
He does not pander.
No.
I got no time for that. I mean, pandering is giving, to me, if that's no different than the stuff that they've been pulling out at Marvel and DC. Pandering is like, if somebody panders to you based on anything at all about you, you should not feel grateful, happy, and they're doing such a great thing. It should make you mad, and you should feel insulted, because pandering is just another way of like mental slavery, and nobody needs that.
Absolutely. And that being said, in today's culture, everybody gets a medal, right, for just participating. Now, being as though you are a parent yourself, how do you feel about that? Do you ever teach your kids to either be the best at something, or try to do their best or not do it?
I always tell my daughter to do the best that she can. If she feels that this is the best that she can do, then that is awesome. I'm all for it. If she thinks that she can do better, then I encourage her to go back and try it again. But I always want her, even if she tries something and she doesn't like it, I don't let her just quit. I want her to follow through all the way to the end, because you've made a commitment to at least do something. So you need to learn how to finish it and not just walk away when things get harder. You don't want to do it, because that's where you run into a huge problem that I've seen a lot, where you'll see people just throw their hands up in the air and walk away from projects or something like that. And that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form, because it's killing your professionalism, but that's also destroying that project pretty much. I mean, because that'll be the end of it. That'll kill it, because that leaves a hole. Because when you're creating as a team, when it's not just you doing the art, the coloring, and the writing all in yourself, but you have you and somebody else, no matter how many other people is, once somebody gives up and walks away, or drops out for any reason other than like it's a health thing, or my wife, my mom, my so and so just died, or something like that, where that's understandable. But if you're just like, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, I'm done, like you've left a hole, and nature abhors a vacuum, and that vacuum will just get sucked in, and it will bring you nothing but drama, dismay, and disheartenness all at the same time.
Well,
I want to read this comment here from Terry. He says, John is all last.
you know,
Rah, 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 rah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving the comments, guys. And there is
always a very active
It's
chat.
so
We
active.
definitely
Yeah, chat's lit, man. I like it. Hell of a chat.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody always needs to remember, when you have if you have a YouTube channel, your guest doesn't matter. You don't matter. The only thing that matters is the chat. Without the chat, you are nothing and nobody, because they are what you live and die by.
And the chat is saying Nick is the bomb.
Now, chat is a little biased, I think.
And Ryan Magus is saying, if Green Reaper gets fulfilled faster than Green Reaper 1, it's already in your mailbox.
brother, we're working on it. We want to put this out fast.
11 a.m.
But yeah. I mean, for starters, I think it's definitely doable because Carla got a new tablet and she works so much faster and better on it. It's like a bigger screen. So you're also gonna see a huge upgrade in the artwork and the lines and the coloring. Because now you can zoom in more and do more stuff as opposed to the old tablet.
There's a huge upgrade in the quality of both the writing and the art. So we cannot wait for you to read Green Reaper 2. So I think this leads us to make some totally
shameless,
selfish.
selfless. Oh, you always get shameless self-promotion.
There we go.
There you go. Time for some shameless self-promotion. Green Reaper 2, guys. We're at $3,600, 90 backers. Couldn't be more grateful. We've seen a tremendous growth, and we still have all of these amazing perks available. $30 for 3 books. That's over 100 pages of storytelling with beautiful art by Carla Tremilli, with a book that looks like this, with this beautiful glossy cover, with a book that's going to be perfect bound, over 40 pages of non-stop fun and great storytelling as well.
Yeah, it's also super cheap. Like you can get the 3 books. If you couldn't read Green Reaper 1, you have Green Reaper issue 1, issue 2, and also a spin-off for $30. This is a steal. We are losing a lot from giving you this. So please, guys, we are at the ridiculously even number of 90 backers.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is giving me like some
anxiety.
Some anxiety. I need to get to the 100. So back the Green Reaper. You won't die if you back it. Because in the first one, show baby.
Oh yeah, in the first one for our backers, we put them all in a cemetery. Maybe you can see Nick's tombstone.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, but yeah. So no, thanks for backing, man, and I'm very glad you enjoyed the book for sure.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely, man. That book was like, I got it in the mail, and I looked at the cover, and even the cover was clever because you hid the side in a place that you really have to look for it to find it. But it's like it's perfectly done in plain sight. I was like, okay, so we might have something here, and then I went through the book and I was not only surprised by, like, I liked the color palette that was chosen. I liked the paper quality was great, but the story and the art was really, really good. Especially, like I said, the way that you gave Death a human side to him, gave him some humanity left in him versus the old Death that you see in there as well. Because and that plays on a trope that I like of a new hero rising up to where an old one has retired or gone away because he let not so much let other people down, but because it was lacking in one area, couldn't get the job done anymore. And I really enjoyed that. The whole book is good. If you missed the first issue, I highly recommend getting that $30 tier, because if you want the complete story of Grim Reaper, you're gonna want the first issue. I mean, it's you can't have one without the other. And I'm really looking forward to that spinoff because I'm a huge history buff, and Rasputin and the Romanovs because technically, if you go back from the Russian Revolution, the killing of the Tsar's family was the last deaths of the American Revolution.
Yes.
So it's an interesting walk through history to connect all that, but it does work.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely my favorite, absolute favorite genre of just storytelling in general is it's history, but like not fake history, but a retelling of history in fantasy, in words, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy context. I think that's very well done in sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work. But that's what we're trying to kind of do here with these books for sure. Another book that I wanted to talk about was Blood Hunt by our other brother.
Yeah, we're a very big family.
we're a really big family, and I wanted to show that book as well from Sin.
Of course.
He also did sketch cards that are available in the Grim Reaper 2, and there's only, I believe, one left.
There's only one left.
Yep.
Nick was the first one to choose, and I love the one you chose, Nick.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep one for myself. I don't think I'm gonna be lucky with that because everybody's like.
So now you have the option between a raging scythe-wielding skeleton or a girl with really nice big boobs. So
yes,
take your pick.
So the boobs or the scythe?
Absolutely. And so we have Blood Hunt here to show. The computer's a little slow. I will show it soon. So yeah, Nick. Now, all of these books, all of these books have something different to offer, and I feel like Comicsgate is probably one of the most diverse, because we put out so much different content. I'm sorry, from so many different genres, so many different angles, so many different things, right? So many different perspectives. Who would you say is your favorite writer in Comicsgate, and who would you say is your favorite artist?
Well, favorite writer as of right now is going to be Narwhal. Earthbound. That was like, Zach was not kidding when that was life changing. That was very much so life changing. I still haven't figured out the words to say other than Narwhal is a lifestyle. I keep wanting to come back to that. But I absolutely, I mean, that book just blew me away. My favorite artist was, and always will be Ebi Canales. I love his style. I love how he masters the human face with the expressions and the emotions. Like I still say that he could do an entire comic book and it not need to have any words said or any lettering done whatsoever, and he could tell the story just with the faces.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, Canales it's a great artist without a doubt. By the way, now that we're talking about Canales, we should probably make an announcement public here. For all of Comicsgate, we are going to start, I think, the first ever, with the help of all of these wonderful CG creators who are of the Spanish persuasion, if you will, a Spanish CG channel. And that's going to be the first ever, and that's because we're trying to reach all of the broader audience throughout the world. Want to make CG grow everywhere in the planet, right? And there is a big market out there for all the Spanish-speaking countries, and I think we can get there. And of course, with the permission of some authors and artists and people who are putting out projects, we are offering ourselves to translate it and maybe get it out there to people in other countries. If you are interested, definitely hit us up, and we can go from there.
Yes, of course. We have some great people involved in the CG Español.
Canales is one of them.
We have Canales, we have Mogwai Centurion,
yes.
We have Abel Salazar, we have, there's a bunch of us that we, like, of course, we always have to speak in English, but then we start discovering, oh, you speak Spanish too. Hey, ¿cómo andas, amigo? So, yeah. Hell CG Español is saying Mogwai Centurion. Yeah, hell Mogwai, hell Abel. So I think it's a good idea to make CG more accessible for people who just have this language barrier. And we are aware because, of course, like I'm from Uruguay, John is from Colombia. We know that in our countries there's a huge amount of, it's a huge market. There's a lot of conventions of comics and stuff, and people is also feeling like bored about this whole social justice warrior thing. So, and also Marvel and DC are dying, if not already
everywhere. It's not just here.
Yeah, so we all need CG. So we think it will be a good thing to aportar.
To include or to give. We have a good thing to give to the CG.
Yeah, that we are bilingual, and also a lot of more of creators.
Listen, more people means more backings, means more money, means more eyes, means the community grows more.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to do. And we couldn't be more happy to work with so many great people from the CG community who inadvertently for us actually spoke our first language and are very much willing to get out there and help promote these books in a different market and bring more people in.
Yes, and also of course encourage those who can't speak English to join like CG,
Right, exactly.
Maybe to be that bridge to bring all these new people. Well, English is taught in all schools in Latin America.
Yeah, English is spoken around the world, but not to the level of fluency to where they can understand, a lot of stuff. And speaking of Canales is in the house.
Look who we have here. I'm gonna send the link right now.
Hail to Canales, my brother.
Amiguito.
Yes. He is the Latin flavor to my white meat blandness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he is considered Latin, right? Spain.
Yeah, that's Latin, man. Latin, when they call it like Latin American stuff like that, is because of Spanish is a Latin language. It's the only reason why that they say it.
Absolutely. And glad to hear you're safe, because you guys are having some tough times over there in Spain, but Canales is indestructible, so we're not very.
Canales doesn't speak Espanol. He's in Spain, so he speaks Español.
Español.
Right? Like Canales once was called this European Mexican.
Yes. Yeah, he is a European Mexican. That is the that is the thing. It's funny though. I mean, that's the great thing about CG. I mean, it's everywhere. People, like you said, people are just fed up with all the identity politics and the other nonsense that they're trying to put into comic books, into a medium that was always meant to be something that was for the reader to understand, and them to make that to take that character and kind of make it their own in their own special way. Because like my favorite character is not everybody else's favorite character. My favorite character in Marvel is Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. I love and it's not because of his particular personality. Actually, his personality annoys me to no end. But I love the fact that he's a magician. I like magic and stuff like that. So that is a reason why, the illusions and the magic that he can do and things of that nature. And like, I hate what they've done to him. Like, I was really happy when they took it away from Donny Cates, but then they gave it to Mark Waid. So that was just like 30 times worse. So it's like, but they're killing all of our characters. They're killing their character assassinating all of the legacy and stuff like that. And anybody who knows anything about storytelling that's the last thing you do. The only time that you want to do something is when you're trying to eradicate a story.
Yes.
You're trying to get rid of it, to make it not have the same power and stuff like that it used to have.
It's suicide. Now, along those lines, we all grew up with Marvel and DC. Those are the big two. Of course, Dark Horse and others came in later, at least for me. But what is the saddest thing for you as a former, I assume, Marvel or DC fan, when you look at the decline of this industry? What is the saddest thing for you? Is it the assassination of a character, of a story arc, or just the assassination of the overall legacy of Stan Lee?
I think it is the saddest thing to me, I think, would be a combination of like how they just betrayed. They gave up everything for a virtue signal. I think
Yes.
that's the saddest thing to me. And DC has done it just as much as Marvel has done it. Image has done it. That really is disappointing. The Image did it. IDW, God, I could go on, but even Dark Horse and Valiant, all these comic companies and brands and imprints and stuff, they sold out loyal fans who have spent countless amounts of money and come and waited in line forever just to say hey to them or get an autograph. You spend 4 hours in a line to spend a minute with your favorite artist. To people who are outside of comics, they'll never understand that, but to people who are in comics and who love comics, that made that 4 hours seem like nothing. It was totally worth it because for that minute you got to meet someone that you really look up to and is a hero and who has written a hero that you really look up to. It's that kind of depth to it and everything like that. But all these people have sold us out for a virtue signal of some sort because they're not there to uphold the legacy or to write comics. They look at comics as a stepping stone to get into TV or to movies. I'm sorry, but it used to be that comics were the big farm, and like you would they would like you would have comics holding their own, and then every once in a while you'd see something like the Incredible Hulk going to TV or something like that, or they'd make the Superman movies or something like that. But those movies or Batman back in the 60s, those TV shows and those movies they weren't afterthoughts, but they were the TV and movie companies coming to Marvel and DC and begging and begging and begging and begging, please let us do this, please let us do this, because now because of this massive virtue signaling and using it as a stepping stone, they don't want to write comics at all. They don't want to be there. They've made that very clear. They're there to do whatever they can to destroy that particular form of entertainment so they can go get jobs in TV and movies. And so that way they can do the same thing to TVs and movie, because anywhere an SJW lands his or her grimy little hands, it automatically infects it and destroys it.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. And the infiltration happens in every form of entertainment nowadays. So people are fed up, without a doubt. People look out for different outlets, and I think this is the time for indie creators to step up and fill in that void. Like you said, nature does not like when vacuums are left out, and someone will come and fill in that gap for you. That being said, are you as personally as a backer, as a supporter, and as a reader and a fan satisfied with the things that Comicsgate have put out?
Yes, I am. For the most part, I am extremely satisfied with the stuff that Comicsgate has put out. Like I said, there's always going to be some disappointments along the way, some misfires, some failures to launch. That is just the way of things. This, like I said, like I've always said, Comicsgate is the penultimate example of the free market. The market will always decide. The market will always find a way, some way. But you're not going to find a more loyal and supportive group of fans than you will anywhere, I think, in the other fandoms. Maybe in the Firefly fandom will you find as hardcore and crazy loyal fans like you will find in Comicsgate, because just look at the amount of money that's been spent on Comicsgate in the past couple years. It's ridiculous. There aren't very many. There are a lot of fandoms that would kill to have that kind of cash just influx all of a sudden. And but I have been, as far as the books go, there have been some creators that have personally let me down and who have personally done some stuff that I don't agree with. But the books that I have backed, and from the books that I have gotten, I have not been disappointed by any of them. Every book that I've gotten, I have been very happy with. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Now, we were talking about money earlier, and Comicsgate is moving really big numbers. Do you ever get in trouble with the wife for spending so much money in entertainment and in comics?
Yeah, back in October, I kind of went a little crazy, and so I had to. That got that got put the kibosh on. But I'm pretty good with my finances when it comes to stuff like that. It's just I set myself. I tell myself, well, I pay myself because I work for myself. Well, here's how much you're going to get paid for 2 weeks, and out of that, this is how much you get to spend on comics, Comicsgate. And I think that's really important for anybody out there. Like, I understand the want for fans to go out there and back and back and back and back. And that's awesome. And I'm not saying don't back and back and back and back, but you got to take care of your family first. You got to take care of your bills first. You have to do your adulting before you can go out and do your kidding. I want everybody to understand that you got to pay your bills. You've got to take care of your family and all these things. And then Comicsgate will be here waiting for you with open arms to gladly relieve you of the rest of the money that you have in your wallet, or in my case, anyway. And that's the way that I think is a good way for me anyway to approach it. Because but back in October, things I did go a little crazy. I didn't go too crazy, but I went over, and so got a little talking to not only by my wife but by myself, because I was disappointed in myself that I lost track of the money and everything like that.
But sometimes you can help, right? They put out these really, really attractive things out there for you, and you're like, all right, I hit my limit for the year, but can I squeeze this last one in? I totally understand.
There's nothing wrong with treating yourself. I think that's good every once in a while. But don't go out there and put yourself in destitution or anything like that, because that's when it can get bad.
Absolutely. Now, that being said, now that we're in the topic of family, do you pass on the love of comics and of this medium to your daughter as well?
Yes, she has already made 4 comics, and she's
maybe you can put them out there for her.
No, we'll see. The art's not quite there for Comicsgate standards yet, but she just started. She's been writing these stories about her and her friends, and she loves, like, her favorite show is Batman the Animated Series. That was something I got her into early. She loves Superman. She loves Supergirl. She loves Batgirl. And you add that in with Frozen and all the other Disney princesses. Some of the superheroes that she comes up with, they can fight crime on a Monday and go hit the fashion scene on a Tuesday. It's an interesting little mix that she's got going on.
I started myself super young too. I think you did as well. It's something that, I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but it's something that you're born with or you're not. You can train yourself and you can teach yourself to get a lot of this, but there has to be that talent, that raw diamond in you before and it's beautiful to hear that your daughter is getting into it as well.
Yeah, she also loves Transformers. I wanted to mention that as well. That's very
I should probably give you a heads up that the Green Reaper 2 has some R-rated scenes at the beginning of it. So
no children allowed with the
however, the spin-off is totally kid-friendly, but
yes,
no children allowed on the second one. She might see the occasional boob or so. So just giving you a heads up.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've managed to keep the like my comics separate from her, but one time I left a book that is of a mature nature, Comicsgate book, and out, and she got to like the page right before some scenes started happening. I had to get that one out of her hand real quick. I said, "Nope, you can't look at this one."
Right. Now, that being said, I'm going to get into some territory here.
I'm scared.
But you in the chat, everybody will forgive me for it. But I want to ask you about this because it's been on my mind for a while. You obviously, we're all adults and we're all okay with R-rated material and maybe mature content, maybe even of a sexual undertone, if you will. But what are your thoughts when that is pushed in like without being honest about it? You know what I mean? like when that sort of material is put out there and they're not really telling you what it is, like it's not safe for work and things like that. Does that ever piss you off?
Like for me, that's when the creator, that's up to the creator really to let me to tell you if they're going to say that the book is mature or something like that. Like I know for myself, when I see a mature subject or something like that, I know what it is. It's like porn. You know what it is when you see it. And I can make my own decisions. I don't need a warning label. I don't need anyone telling me what is or isn't that. If somebody wants to label their book, it's for teens, it's for mature and adults only, that's fine. You'll never, ever, ever, ever see me out there pushing for some kind of mandated rating system or something like that. I think that that is a little wrong in a lot of ways because you're basically, when you put in a mandated system like that, like I don't even like the movie rating systems or the parental stuff on music and stuff like that, because as a parent, you are, or as somebody, like say you have a younger niece or nephew, or just looking at it from that stance, that is part of your job to go out there and make yourself educated on what's the kid, what are the kids listening to with their new haircuts and crazy rock and roll, you know, what's going on. I know you can't catch everything, but it is your job to kind of catch most things. And I will never push for or stand behind anything that puts a mandatory rating system on anything.
Absolutely. Well said. And so we've got to talk with Nick, the promoter. We've got to talk with Nick, the backer, and even Nick, the father. Now, let me ask you one more thing. What are you most excited about, or what are some of the things that you're excited about coming out of Comicsgate this year?
Let's see here. Vestige is a book I'm very excited about. I can't wait to get that. Through the Woods, the collected edition, just because everybody and their brother who's gotten that has told me that I'm going to love it and the read's going to be good. I need some more Grim Reaper in my life because the cliffhanger at the end of the first book has been bothering me because, like I've gone back and reread it again recently, and I think I know who's at the door, but I'm not 100% sure who's at the door. You know, I'm looking forward to Wrecked Planet, all the new stuff that's getting ready to come out. CG Jumpstart's going to be amazing. You know, Red's book, that's going to be the first novel. I'm not a novel reader per se because it just, I don't know, man. Sometimes a novel's hard to sit down and chew on. You know what I'm saying? Because like even with a trade paperback of, like I got one that's 224 pages. I sat down and just ate it in like I don't know, an hour and a half. But like, so for some reason I can do that with a trade paperback, but with a novel that you're sitting down to, that's kind of hard. So I'm going to be interested to see what that's like to go through a novel that is in many ways a comic without pictures. So we'll see. If it does happen, I'm very much looking forward to CG Con because I want to meet everybody. I want to hang out with everybody. I want to see the shenanigans that go down. I'm looking forward to the fun, more success that's coming CG's way, because whether people know it, want to admit it or not, CG is the future.
Yes.
Because Marvel and DC, they were already on their way out. And I think the virus thing, and then you have Diamond closing down. But now Marvel's saying that they're going to lay off a third of their comic writers. You've got AT&T saying, look, because AT&T doesn't care about DC's publishing. They care about DC's movies and the IP titles that they can make into movies, because they've seen Marvel make all this money doing it. AT&T will shut down DC in a heartbeat, not even think twice about it. And so the Comicsgate community is in a very, very great place to make a lot of money and to be very successful and get to build. Because remember, the only reason that we are here as Comicsgate, or one of the main reasons, is they told us that if we didn't like their comics, we could A, go make our own, and B, go make our own industry. We have done both. And tears them to pieces because they can't stand it. And now we see them all trying to come over and say, well, I was secretly rooting for CG and all this. No, you weren't. I know what you said. No.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. This has been an absolute blast of an interview. I definitely love you, brother. You are a great promoter, a great friend as well. Usually what we do in these interviews, in these talks, is at the end we kind of have, depending on the person we're talking to and stuff, we have them do something. Like we always exploit Red's voice. So last time we had an interview with him, we made him sing. Remember?
Yeah, we actually have a show called Interrogation Room. We try to, well,
absolutely. We try to get the best out of you guys. So now, if War Campaign was the army, you would probably be a general. So as General Nick right now, give us a message for all of the anti-CG people out there.
Well, I wouldn't want to be a general because officers suck. So I would probably be a gunnery sergeant.
All right, sergeant.
I would say this to the antis and to the other folks who want to despair and cause harm to CG. I say this with all the earnestness and ferocity and everything that is within my being when I say this. We won. Go away.
Hey, there you go. Best way to finish this interview, Nick. It's been a blast. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thanks for all the backers who have backed these projects that we showcased today.
Yeah, I saw that Blood Hunt got a lot of new backers. It's already in the 9K. So please check Blood Hunt. I dropped the link there. Sandstorm got new backers. Green Reaper 2 got new backers. So yeah, also please check through the Woods hardcover edition. Yeah, this is amazing. This is Comicsgate.
Holler Nick, where can they find you on Twitter, my friend?
You can follow me on Twitter at Tinfoil Hat Nick. That is the handle that I've had since the day that I got back on Twitter. And I know I don't really wear a tinfoil hat. It's meant more for irony, but people do take it literally for some reason. But that's where you can find me on Twitter. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. So follow him. If you're new to Comicsgate, holler at him. He should be your guide into the Comicsgate scene without a doubt.
Yeah, and also we hope to see Nick more often in the channel.
Hopefully, yeah. Absolutely. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is us signing out, and we will see you the next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.